CREWCast. 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 Give it up for the CREWCast!
We're going. Yeah, that was on. So we've got a time. Yeah, everything's off. So it's raining. It's daytime. It's all very odd.
It is peculiar.
Yeah, it's weird doing it in the afternoon.
I know. Well, I've just come back from Aberystwyth. I've been in Wales.
What's that like?
It was nice.
It was a romantic getaway.
Yeah, we were. The main reason we were going away is we wanted to take the dog to the sea, and we've been wanting to take. He's not seen the sea, so we wanted to get to the sea, show him. But then we're like, it's a bit of a ball ache to drive because you got like 2 hours. Because where we live, 2 hours pretty much the closest you're gonna get.
The only times I've been over to Aberystwyth and all that is on the bikes.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the ride over.
Yeah.
And there's some really cool roads that way. But if you're in a car, it would suck balls.
It's not a bad drive. It's just like
traffic.
fairly long, especially if you were going to go there and back again in a single day.
Oh yeah.
Just to go on the
it's
beach
2 hours,
with a dog who's
3,
going to get
maybe.
tired out pretty quickly. Yeah. So we decided, we'll stop out, and we ended up actually going to. It's called Borth. It's just outside of Aberystwyth. Borth.
Imagine trying to advertise that.
Yeah.
Come and see Borth.
Borth. Yeah. There's just nothing there.
The noise you make after a bad night out, or a good one. Borth.
Yeah. There's nothing there. It was good for the beach side of things because it was just
there's a
literally
beach
like miles of empty beach. So we went there. That was the first bit of beach that he saw. And then we went into Aber on the night just because there's more choices for food, and we took him again. And then,
Oh, hang on, Aberystwyth's a city. Not city, the student town.
yeah, there's lots of students.
Was there anything going on there? When we went, it sucked balls, which is why we didn't go back.
There's quite a lot going on in Aberystwyth. To be fair, it's not exactly like
Term
heaving,
time, is
but it's there's a decent amount of stuff there. I think the mistake with Aberystwyth is because there's quite a big long coastline at the promenade, and there's not actually a huge amount on the promenade.
There's nothing. There's a pie shop, an awful little arcade on like this like mini pier thing.
Yeah.
And then they say, oh, there's a castle around the corner. Hey, Aberystwyth.
Yeah,
It's not a castle.
but it's
It's a tumbled turret.
yeah. It's everything that's good in Aberystwyth is like not necessarily on
Gotta go back.
the promenade. Yeah, it's in the town a little bit more. So I think because we're so used to seaside towns having fucking everything just
Yeah.
on one straight run, I'm sure it probably used to be that way, but now it's pretty much just B&Bs, hotels, just all like lined up. So you've only actually got a handful of shops on there. But no, Aber's all right.
They have black sand.
It's pretty dark, isn't it? Yeah, and
What's that about?
I don't know. It's not exactly
Dirty sand.
it's not exactly the picturesque beach that you want.
So did the dog go in the sea?
Yeah, a little bit. He didn't go swimming, but he went in the sea. When he first went out, he was a little bit unsure because obviously sea's really loud.
Yeah.
Lots of movement, lots of noise. So he was like a little bit like, what the fuck's that? And took about 10 minutes or so to encourage him because like at first when the waves would like lap up on the shore and he'd like move away from them.
he
And he
actually
was
run
like,
away
what the
from
hell's-
it.
Yeah, he was like trying to get away
Makes
from
sense though. Imagine the thing coming at you.
it. Yeah.
And you've never seen it before, and it's giant, and it spreads all the way as far as you can see. You probably would run away.
There was a moment where he kind of clocked that, like, at first he was just like looking at it, didn't think much of it, and then he looked out at the sea, and then I think his tiny brain was trying to comprehend, like,
the endlessness
this is
of the
this is the
world.
biggest thing that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it would have been, of course. Because everything else he's seen will have had an end.
Yeah.
a
This
visual
was just
endpoint.
literally just forever. But no, he was all right, and he was playing around. He didn't seem to love the water. Like if he had the choice, because we put some wellies on, so we were like walking through and letting the kind of the water go over up our legs a little bit. He would.
Oh, so you were in with your totters out, were you?
I had wellies on.
Ah, clever.
So he.
What a British thing. Imagine telling an American, hey, you want to go to the beach? Sure do.
Yeah.
Grab your wellies.
Yeah.
Say what?
Yeah, exactly. Not. You know what though? Yesterday, a whole day, I was just in a t-shirt. Today, just been in a t-shirt. It's literally
not
like, it's
wet,
and
it's not cold.
no wind at all. Like at the seaside,
No wind.
No wind.
That
You could
doesn't
like
sound
drop some sand and it would fall straight down. It was the most bizarre thing I've never experienced.
I don't even think that was possible.
No, I have no idea how it was possible as well. But that made it feel even warmer. So I was literally just sat out. There was one point where we sat and just got food. So I was just sat outside in fucking the middle of October in a t-shirt
Gotta love
for
it.
like an hour and wasn't cold. It was bizarre.
That global warming finally kicking in.
I know. So it was good though. Like I said, went to multiple beaches. he played. He had a good time. It was really nice to chill. We actually stopped in this static caravan that we found on Airbnb, and it was like the nicest. Not that I've stopped in many caravans, but it was the nicest one I've stopped in. It was
They're not really a caravan at that point, though, are they?
No,
They're
it
like,
was pretty decent.
they call them mobile homes, and
Yeah.
they should be called immobile homes. They're only mobile if they, because these things have decks on them.
Yeah.
They're clearly rooted. They're
Yeah.
not moving anywhere.
No.
So it's more. They should call them a plastic chalet
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. It was great. Really good. It was a shame that we only ended up doing one night, to be honest, because it was lovely. But I definitely felt like I needed a bit of a
That's
getaway.
Yeah. Well, while you've been that, there's been crimes here, mate.
Crimes.
Crimes.
Is that the reason we've got the
There's a militia in town.
the militia in the back garden?
Somebody stole my purple bin. This is the pettiness of living on estate-style
damn.
places. Where, like, so what's they've got going on now, they've removed all the rest. This is such a stupid conversation. But
Which one's your purple bin? I don't have a purple
yeah,
one.
exactly, right?
What?
So we know how we got this bullshit thing where we only get our bins collected once every 2 weeks for each style. So one every 2 weeks is your normal stuff, and then one every 2 weeks is your green waste and recycling.
Yeah.
Out in here, we only get once. Yeah. So now we used to have to separate everything into these stupid blue bags that's literally the size of like a giant carrier bag for your cardboard. Oh, cool! So I can get one delivery every 2 weeks, and it's full, which is just retarded. And then in the same, you get these little plastic bins, which you have to put you have to put your cans in one, and plastics, and then glass in the other. Well, plastics. Jesus Christ, do we use a lot of plastics? My mower's onto something.
Yeah.
Like fucking hell. Oh, they demonetized already. Brilliant. Golly gosh, the amount, like, so this little bin is probably no bigger than, like, I don't know, 24 inches by, to say, it's nearly a square thing. You fill it up in like 4 days with the stupid chicken boxes and God knows whatever. Everything comes in plastic.
Yeah.
And they expect you to put it in this one little tub for a full household of food. You're like, really? So they've now moved it onto a purple bin. So the purple bin is the size of your normal big wheelie bins.
Okay.
And you put everything in there but your cardboard.
Right.
So I had that, and somebody on the estate, because you put them out, because where I live, you got to put them outside the gates.
Yeah.
And somebody who lives outside the gates has pinched my purple bin
Fuckers.
because they haven't had, because you had to register for them to get them here. So some unregistered vagabond.
You can just imagine somebody, because you're up the
But this
long
is how
open
sad
street,
this person's
they're just
life
running
is.
down the road with your bin.
They've gone a bin because I hadn't written the like house name on it or something because I trust humans.
Yeah.
And so some sad little human has had a victory today where they've stolen a bin. Like, how pathetic is your life that was a feature of your day?
That is hilarious.
So yeah, it's like I'm separating my waste again for a bit until I get another
Fuck's
purple
sake.
bin.
So have you got to like send off to the council?
This is adult life, people.
I remember actually when we first moved, so the house that we're at now, at the top of the road, there's like woods and fields and stuff like that. And one of the neighbours like kept bringing our bin in, and they were like, "Oh, you just want to be careful. The kids will take the bins. They take the bins off to the woods, and they set them on fire and inhale the fumes." And I was like, "What? What is that?"
Imagine seeing this at a load of little kids just chanting and running around the burning bin going, "Hey, yeah, yeah. Oh, meow, yeah, yeah, yeah."
Yeah.
Sniffing the plastic.
Yeah, it's never so. Like, we've been there for over a year, and I don't get the bins in immediately because I can't be arsed if I'm at work all day. Like, I'll get them in at the end of the day. No one's stolen the bin, so I don't know whether the neighbours have just been a bit. Maybe like they've just heard this rumour.
Maybe it's like old people when they just want to shred it because they think that their identity will be stolen unless everything's shredded.
Or maybe they literally, some old people are like that. They just don't want the bins out. They want like.
So they come up with this cracker.
Yeah,
of a
they're
story.
just like, right, okay. The kids. What do the kids do? They
In the woods.
They smoke stuff, right? Okay, they can.
Kids are so bad around here. They smoke the bins. Welcome to the neighbourhood.
Imagine of all the things that you want to inhale.
I'm pretty sure that like what's it? The stuff that are not allowed in our BPA.
Yeah.
That's like pure BPA.
Yeah. But not even that.
Maybe that's what it's about.
The fact that that's what everyone puts their rubbish in, and when do you clean your bin?
That's true. Yeah.
So it's like
Filthy BPA.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they call it. Do you want to smoke some bupper filth?
Yeah. Well, I couldn't think of anything worse to smoke, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that would just instantly make you retarded.
Yeah, I was going to say, being in a mental hospital
Yeah.
every week. What happened to Johnny? Smoked some bipper filth.
Yeah.
Took him.
That's by me. You're having your bin. That's where your bin's gone.
It's gone in the woods, burning.
Yeah, you've just got a load of kids.
Like 15, 12-year-old.
That explains out the back.
Militia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've all smoked the bins, and then this is what's happening.
Running around in army gear. So yeah, that's the excitement of my day. Oh, here's the other thing that I'm proud of myself of today.
All right, and go for
Well, this week, getting into the gym earlier, which has been good. And I'm telling you, it's having the closer gym. So I made it to Foundry and I made it there, but I made it, so it's, mixing it up, it's keeping my flow. And, but I've started my sauna, like I said. And, stupid, still haven't got the plungy pulley thing yet.
Oh, really?
Well, it's on pre-order, isn't it? So they're not even shipping them. I might cancel it and just buy one off Amazon that's not as good.
Yeah.
And see if it... The only difference is this one I've ordered is all thermo-regulated. So the idea is you put cold water in it and it'll keep it cold. And it should keep it cold for up to like 5 days and you'd have to re-ice it.
This time of year. Although
Exactly,
in theory
that's what I'm
right
saying.
now, yeah.
So it might not be too bad. But if I get a good one, then I'll have to do minimal. Just get in. But anyway... So, because I don't have that, I've been doing ice cold showers after my sauna in the gym.
Yeah.
And today I did 2 things of wonderment. Yeah. Well, 3 things actually. So, number 1, I'm trying to stay in for after 15 minutes. Yeah. It's hard for me to stay in that sauna. Yeah. So, like that last 5 minutes is tough. Today I got in after a hard workout. I did 22 minutes on the top step of the sauna.
Oh, Jesus.
And because normally what's happening
Top step's a different level, mate.
15 minutes top step I've been doing, and then I have to get down and do 5 minutes bottom step. 22 minutes top step.
Yeah.
And I had a point where I genuinely had a panic attack.
Yeah.
Like, when you feel like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Like, I had that moment.
Yeah.
And I was just there, and I had Eckhart Tolle in my ear going, the body is, feel your hands. Feel aliveness in your hands. Isn't it amazing? Yeah. And I'm going, I can't feel life. Yeah.
Life is slipping away from me.
Do you know what I did? Because I was doing this thing. He has this really good one. It's called, my phone's downstairs. It's an Eckhart Tolle. Search it on Spotify. It's something like, what's it called? It's the title of his book. Anyway, if you go on there, he has this one. He's talking about. Well, one thing actually to bring from it is, and this is something you can take from it. This is tangent, but good one. We are obsessed with thinking. Like our brains like complexity. So, I figured out 2 things. I figured out loads today actually. I've had a good day. Right. So, if you can't sit in silence of yourself and shut those thoughts off, that's why you struggle in day-to-day with procrastination and stuff. So, the reason it's like if I'm doing some work and then someone will come in and they'll have like something crap like, I don't know, the toilet's broken right now. There's 4 of the toilets. It's fine. I don't need to do it. But I will want to go and fix and find the problem. Like, fix the problem. Any problem. It doesn't have to be physical, but fix the problem mentality. The fix the problem mentality is to fill the void of the silence. Yeah. And that's why we get, especially with the ADHD style brains, get carried off onto other things because we can't sit in the silence. So you have to, because our brain likes the complexity, our natural nature is to not be in the silence. So if you can train yourself to sit in the silence, it should, in theory, help stop the procrastination of find it, fix it, outside of the job you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. Just learn to sit in the silence of when you're stuck. Learn to sit in the silence of when you've got no motivation to look at what you're doing and just sit there and work out why. So that was a cool thing to find out because I was literally listening to him speak and he was saying our brains don't like silence. They like complexity. They want, when you sit there, you'll say, can I feel my hand? Your brain will say, well, what does that matter? It doesn't matter. We know your hand's there. It doesn't matter. We've got other things to do. Is that going to solve my problems? No, it's not going to solve my problems. What you're doing. And that's the brain, the way it functions. Go. It wants you to grip something else and you have to shut that off. So the sauna and doing that's hard because I'm struggling to breathe whilst doing it. Yeah. But what I found was, so I was doing this thing where he's saying, close your eyes. And he says, now try and, without moving, without touching, try and sense if you still have a right hand. How can you know if your right hand's there? To try and feel that your right hand is there, sense it, and then it's about just feeling, and then you do, and it's really good. And you transfer it from right to left, then into your feet, then your arms, your legs, and eventually it says, and now we're not feeling sensations of arms, legs, or feet. We're just in the body, and it's really good. And I struggle getting past the arms and legs at the moment, but when he was saying that, because I started to do the heavy breathing, and I feel my heartbeat in my head. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. When I feel the heartbeat, that's what pulls me out. Boom, boom, boom. Because I can feel that's when my head's getting hot. Yeah. So I just squeezed my hands like this and kept an even pressure between like having all my fingers interlaced, and then I just focused on that pressure, and then I stayed in another 7 minutes on the top step.
Fucking hell.
doing that,
Yeah.
just pushing my fingers into each other.
When I've done some guided meditations, the in the body bits, because sometimes it will be
I
like,
think that's what his is.
yeah, that's the bit that I always enjoy the most, where you're kind of going through, like doing like a body scan almost, where you're kind of feeling sensations. A lot of the time on the ones I've done, they're almost like top down, so it'll be like feel the sensations in your head and your neck and any tightness and tenseness.
They're the good ones.
And like relax, and then kind of go down through your shoulders and your arms. And yeah, I don't know why those body scans are something that I always...
It does work.
Yeah, it does work. It's weird how much time you spend in your own body and not paying attention to it.
He explains why. It's because he says now that you've taken your focus into the hand, now it's away from the complexity of the brain. Because you're putting your focus into something. So rather than just trying to sit in silence, you're focusing on feeling your hand.
Yeah.
So it's just training you to pull your focus into a singular function. So it's really good. I think it's called Gateway to the Now. Eckhart Tolle, Gateway to the Now, and there's multiple episodes on there of it. And I don't know if this is so much of a guided meditation as it is a guide into removing the noise from your brain. But you can use it as a guided meditation, because that's what I was doing, sat in a sauna. So I'm sat in, imagine when you come in, there's me after a workout, so I'm jacked, in the sauna, in my shorts, with my headphones on, which are also, by the way, don't take your headphones in the sauna. They still work, but they're so loose now because they're plastic and they're black. Mate, they've like melted. They don't look any different, but they like just fall off my head now. I used to be able to wear them when I was boxing, and now I'm like, look, and they just slide straight off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yes, you can take your headphones in the sauna, but you probably shouldn't. But I went in thinking it might break.
Yeah.
So, it's not so bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a compromise.
Yeah.
You're just going to go in, duct taped
Just
round your head.
electrical tape. Imagine. So I'm sat in there, and I've got these headphones on, I've got my eyes closed, I'm on this top step, I'm profusely sweating, and you walk in and I'm going... like this, doing my breathing, and then every so often I'm going, relax. So it looks like I'm in there trying not to murder you if you walk in.
Yeah.
Someone's coming to a space, don't kill them. Don't kill them. Don't look at them, close your eyes. And these are all nice little old people wandering. They have no clue I'm doing a meditation of any kind.
Yeah.
They think I'm a psychopath sat in the heat with my headphones on. Probably listening
Just
to death
torturing
metal.
yourself,
Yeah, literally, because they're all getting out, and the clocks, and I'm going, keep going.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
But yeah, and then I went in after that, straight out, quick drink of water, into the shower, 4 minutes cold shower, full turn, like 3/4 turn down, and then full turn down for the last full minute.
It's not too bad. Once your actual body like acclimatises to the temperature, maintaining it's not as bad. It's that initial drop and it takes your breath away.
Yeah, that's the one. So I find if you just go like 3/4 and it's cold, and then you just edge it over the next minute.
Yeah, that's kind of
right
how
the
I
way
do.
down, and then 2 full minutes at that. It was really good. Other than when you put your head under every so often.
Yeah, that's a
And
bit
then
like...
you're like, can't breathe in or out because the water's trickling down your face over your mouth, and you kind of breathe in the water in, but also you can't quite get the air enough in, so you're like, going,
You go kind of like, I don't know, you lose a lot of sense, don't you? Like your senses get really disorientated when you dunk your head under cold water.
And again, for the pleasure of the other people now who've dealt with the psychopath in the sauna, have now got to walk into a room where it's obviously it's all showers for people. There's like 12 of these shower cubicles, and they have to hear someone going, "Whoo, come on." It sounds like I'm now jacking off mercilessly in the shower. So there's probably complaints at the front desk that there's somebody like talking to himself in the sauna. It looks like he might murder everybody, and there's someone vigorously jacking off in the men's showers, like every day. Every day.
In the morning as well. I don't know where he has the energy.
It's improved because like he's gone from 2 minutes to 4 minutes as well. So
We know he's training for something, right?
what is he training for? To just murder and rape everyone?
Endurance rapeathons.
Yeah. So that was my day.
Well, fair play, mate. I actually fancy... Do they do like day passes? Mm-hmm. I might come down one of the
Yeah, you
days.
can come, it's
I
actually
can't remember the last time it's
just
been a
come down,
while.
do it.
It's been
They got steam
well
room as
over
well. I
12
haven't
months.
been in it yet because I don't know if you get the same benefits of steam room as you do sauna.
Yeah, steam rooms, like, as well, it's really hard to know. I know it sounds silly, but, like, it's hard to know if you're sweating.
Yes, yeah, I know what you mean.
Because you're steaming at the
Have you
same
been in a
time.
mental one?
Yeah.
And it's just like a challenge to breathe.
Yeah,
You're
and it, like, stings your eyes,
Yeah,
you know.
everything.
I was just in there, like,
Yeah.
crying in there.
There's a man in the sick room.
Yeah, there's another man crying in the mental sauna.
Yeah, but mate, it is good. Although I do, when I come out, I feel great. But 30 minutes later, yesterday, my back just died on me.
Oh, really?
My lower back, because I went food shopping afterwards, and I realised bad idea.
Yeah.
After doing a workout, sauna, and all that, to then just go and if I plod, it's plodding. If like plodding around town wrecks my back. But you have me playing a game of rugby, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's plodding. Walking, I can't walk right. Clearly, I'm you know, a full-grown adult, and I clearly can't walk right. But I can run and do everything else.
I think sometimes as well, when you're trying to move actively, you're a lot more mindful of what you're doing.
Yeah, maybe.
But then you just, when you're walking, thinking about what you're getting for lunch, you're not really paying that
can't
much
work it out.
attention.
It looks bad. You're in Tesco or Sainsbury's, wherever it is, looking really good, and then like holding you back like a 90-year-old. Like literally, it just kept blowing out. Like,
My lower back and my glutes were feeling it from walking on the sandy beaches for quite a while.
Have you ever done sand dune running?
Yeah, oh, it's the most horrendous thing ever.
Isn't it the worst?
Yeah.
I think it's the worst thing you can be given to do.
Yeah,
Sprints up and down sand dunes.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Emma used to do it a lot because she does athletics. So it was just a nice little thing. Occasionally, the athletics team, they'd go off, and there was some like really aggressive hills, and I somehow fucking decided, I'll join in. Yeah, I'll join in. To be fair, the thing is, if I was on a flat, I would have not in a million years, because I haven't got the build to run. I've got fucking the leg. I've got the legs of somebody who's about 4'8".
Yeah.
But on the hill sprints, I actually was like beating a lot of their times because it was more about power. But then I'd just fucking die horrendously towards the end of it.
I think I did it like twice, and it's just the worst. One voluntary and one involuntary session.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Sometimes it's really nice on like the odd occasion when lifting actually carries over to real life.
Yeah,
because really it
for
doesn't.
That 10 minutes that it does.
Yeah, it doesn't for so many situations. Like
for anything.
When I nearly. I think I told you about this like weeks and weeks ago on a bike lesson, and I nearly dropped the bike.
Oh yes.
And like I literally like got my one leg out, and it was well over like 45 degrees gone.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, I don't know how you saved that, and I was just like, I squat a lot.
Yeah, I've done that. I've saved my bike because of lifting a couple of times.
Yeah.
There was one time I was coming in hot. And I didn't realise that when I was pulling off a country road, I was pulling into the industrial estate kind of thing, because I was going to there was a bike shop down the thing, and as I pulled in, it kind of, you know, when the lane merges slightly and it gets bigger as you get into it. So it's not like a left hand turn like straight. There's like it's got a slip.
Yeah,
it's coming in
slip
like
road.
a slip bit.
Yeah.
It's not a slip road. It's just they've got a big wide ass mouth of the drive.
Yeah.
And the slip goes down to the gateway.
Yeah.
So I was just pulling into the slip and didn't realise that it was just like fucking full of gravels and potholes. But I was coming in at like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So obviously I put my brakes on, and then as it went, so my front wheel fully slipped out, like fully. Most people were wiped out. Because I saw the gravel, I put my foot out and I motocrossed it. So I had my feet out, and then the bike fully slipped from under me, and all my strength fucking wrenched it back up.
Yeah.
And then just sat there on it like, how the frick did I do that?
Yeah.
Like, shocked myself.
Yeah.
I was like, that's lifting.
Yeah.
That was pure lifting. And that's the only time I think it comes into play is when there's an emergency situation that's no longer than 5 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much it. Yeah, yeah. You need lots of strength and power in a very, very small time
Very
frame.
small time. Because then after that, we'll need a full meal, a rest, and a protein shake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're going to be getting my bike hopefully tomorrow.
Oh yeah, so we're trying to. If Mark replies, get it down.
Yeah, so that'll be nice. I'll finally. It's only
Up to Manchester.
It's only been sat in the garage for 3 months or something like that.
A while.
It's been ages.
Yeah,
It's got to be about 3 months, surely.
it's got to be.
Yeah.
Might be more. I don't know. Either way, because we went and got it pretty quick. It was a bit of a whim.
It was not a bit of a whim. I think that is the definition of a whim.
A pure whim, that was.
The conversation was had, and less than 24 hours later.
You nodded and all of a sudden owned a motorbike.
Yeah.
It was like you were at a bidding auction and didn't know it.
Yeah.
You wanted a water and now you're on a motorbike.
Yeah, they're like, do you like that? And I was just
nodded.
like,
Yeah, yours.
yeah,
Oh.
pretty much.
What
yeah.
do I owe? I don't understand what just happened.
So I've got some news as well. Did my mod one the other day.
You didn't
Passed
tell
it.
Fuck off, dude.
So yeah, I didn't want to say anything because I was just like,
I thought it was next week.
nah. So I've got my mod 2 now.
So
booked
you
in.
did the U-turn in the road with no problem.
Yep.
That's
yeah.
the tough bit.
Yeah, I did it. Did everything right. I
minors.
did get 2 minors.
Do you remember to do your looks and everything out of the
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. I didn't get anything. My obs were all perfect. So I got one minor because on my emergency stop, I skidded literally, like my back tyre locked up, but it was like
Yeah.
and it was a good stop. And he was just like, it was nothing, mate. Don't worry about it. He put it as a minor. And then...
Well, hang on, mate. If we don't have to worry about it, why are you noting it down on my perfect fucking session, dude?
And yeah, but it was like, technically it was a skid, so, you know what I mean? And it was just, I don't know, it honestly must have been 6 inches or something.
Oh, so it was a bit of the one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
And but I braked pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
And I stopped very quickly, so I think he was happy with that.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I went through my emergency stop, and I was like, oh, how fast was that? Just as reference. And it was, because you got to do it at 50 kilometers an hour. And I went through at 53, and I was like, okay, cool. All right, I'll do that again. So had my swerve and avoidance, went through, and I was like, oh, that's probably a little bit faster. And he was like, that was 47. And I was like, oh. I was like, what? I swear. I was boggled, because I was like, oh, that was definitely quicker.
Yeah. So hang on, did you have to go through at 50?
Yeah, you got to go through 50.
So they give you another chance?
Yeah, so you get a second. You're allowed 2 attempts at any of the speed ones. I went through at 47. So you just like, but actually you can pass with a minor if you go through at 48 or 49, and then 50 is a full pass without a minor.
Fair.
So I was like, oh, fucking swear that was like quicker. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to fucking go for it. So went round, just went for it. I was like, oh, that was that felt quick. See, when I was stopping after, I was like, man, that was like quite hard to stop after. And he was like, you went through at 65 kilometres an hour. I was like, you only needed to go 1 kilometre an hour faster.
You nearly went like 20 over.
Yeah, so like in miles per hour, that was 40 miles an hour I did the swerve and avoidance. That basically.
It was meant to be 30.
I think 31 you'd pass.
Bloody hell.
So it was good though. And I don't know, I was just like so nervous for that bit when I opened it up, and then after I was like, fucking hell, because I stopped. Because you got like the 2 cones that you've got to stop at, and they don't specify where you need to stop. They just say you need to stop within it. So and every other one, because it had been so much easier to stop because I did it fucking 15 kilometers an hour slower than I should have done. It was always just a real easy stop. So I chose where I stopped. Whereas with this one, I kind of went through and then it stopped right on my back tyre. So I was like, oh, is that okay? Is that allowed? But they don't say anything to you, do they? They're literally
they do that awful policeman look and just note.
Yeah, they just note and then on to the next thing. And he knew that I was like nervous. Cause like, oh man, what did I do there?
Because when I did it, they had like a box, and you had to just have your front wheel stop in the box.
So
on one of them.
Yeah, that's the controlled stop. Controlled stop. Yeah, the control stop where you go through the speed trap, but it doesn't matter what speed you're actually going, and then you just have to stop with your front wheel in that box, which is maybe like 2 feet apart.
Yeah, it's not that big.
Yeah, it's not huge, but it's basically you can slow down as much as you want, as quickly as you want, and just crawl into it.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, so whereas the emergency stop, it doesn't matter where you stop as long as you stop in an emergent, you need to stop quick enough, basically.
Quick, yeah.
And then with that one, you just need to end up somewhere between it.
I get you. So, but what was your back wheel on? It was past the cone.
No. So my back wheel was just by the cone, but every other time.
End cone.
So there's only 2 cones. There's 2 like that. You just pull between them. So every other one, I was just like, I just roll up, basically get my front wheel between them, and then be like, yep, that was it.
Oh, so it's like side to side cones.
Yeah, side to side.
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, so I'd gone past it, so I didn't know whether I'd fucked it and gone past it because I was like struggling to stop.
Yeah.
Without
skidding.
Without skidding. But anyway, so got through it, and I don't know why I fucking just went for it because I properly like when I opened it up. Because I even going around the turn, because you got that sharp turn, and like they say I'll go around about like 19, 20 miles an hour, so then you can open it up to like get to the 30. I was going around that at like 28, so I was already pretty much at speed going around the corner, and then still went for it out of it, and I felt the front end. It didn't lift up, but I definitely like the front suspension went super light.
Yeah.
So like, if I'd have put much more on it,
so you're in like second.
Yeah, it's in second. But like, it's just so much pressure on that one moment because you just like you fuck up, you put your foot down, you do this, you do that, and
The foot
you're
down
done.
thing's a big problem.
You failed.
So
And, it went.
that was it. What was your other minor?
So the minor was the little skid, and the other one was because I didn't get the speed on my first attempt.
Oh, you get a minor for that?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
That's it?
yeah, that was it.
Did you do your checks as you left the gate?
Yeah, I checked.
Yeah.
I just checked everything.
So they were checking on those. They do, yeah, still do.
Yeah.
That. I think that's an asshole move. That is.
Yeah, they did. Because they say when you go in, treat this as if it was a public highway. So
Yeah.
it's now become habit to literally be like check, and then go. So
You do need that habit, especially when you're on bikes. They call it a lifesaver for a reason. And it is important, that little snap look, because I've had it a few times. Not only with cars, but when you're riding with other guys.
Yeah.
Because they could be coming down the
around
outside of you,
yeah.
and if you don't have comms,
yeah,
and they've not got like on your right, or they've just forgot to say on your right, and they're getting a bit excited and carried on, and suddenly zoom past you as you're thinking, I'll just pull out.
yeah.
It is a big thing. So it's a good tick to have. Unlike when you're in a car, when you're doing that mirror super check.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a bit overkill. But even in the car now, I will constantly check my rear all the time because of being on the bike. I do it like a lifesaver.
Yeah, I do think that riding a bike makes you a better driver.
Oh, 1,000%.
I find it weird every time I get back in the car after, because obviously I'm not
boring.
I'm not riding to my lessons. I'm driving there, then going off on a bike for a bit, then jumping back in the car to go home.
Yeah.
And then like you're paying attention to the road surface and potholes and stuff like that. And I'm like, and like when you're giving cars clearance when you're out, like if there's cars parked on the left hand side, and in a car you just drive past as long as you can fucking fit through the gap. It doesn't matter. Whereas on a bike, they say to leave basically enough for that car door's width.
Yeah, in case they open
In case they opened it, because otherwise you're coming off. And you're almost like double guessing yourself as you're driving a little bit.
I remember, and I've been out on the bike tons when it was in the summer and it was nice weather and hadn't been in the car at all. And I remember the first time I got back in the car, pulled out the driveway onto the main road, and I got down the road and there was traffic. And I went, yeah, shit.
God damn it.
I forgot about this. Because traffic had become irrelevant to me because I was just lane splitting everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just remember getting like, oh, cars suck. They are good. Like, I like the car I've got now. That Merc's beautiful to be in. It's still fun. It still makes me smile. So that's made a difference. It's because I still had the BM when I did that. And I remember, because I didn't care about that car then at that point either. So the car wasn't fun to me, and I'm in traffic.
Yeah, that's
And it was manual, which is the main reason I hated the traffic, because I had to manually do everything. The automatic now, if I'm in traffic, I don't care, because it's so easy. I don't just have to do anything. I can listen to whatever's going on and do anything. I'm not having to faff with that bloody gear stick every freaking 10 feet.
Yeah, I may end up going auto.
You've got to go. Honestly, I was a manual dude. I bought a BMW, which is a driver's car, so I got it in manual. Listen, unless it's a 911 or something classic, which should be manual, because the autos were also terrible back then.
Yeah.
Then just the new automatic gearboxes are so smooth. They're more efficient. Your car's faster. Like even that car I had, the BMW 4 Series. If I'd have done my research, I wouldn't have ever got the manual, because the automatic was not only more efficient, it's quicker.
Yeah.
That car would beat the manual all day long. All day long.
I suppose, it's going to do it quicker than you are, isn't
Well,
it?
you've got more gears in the auto. You've only got 6 on your manual. In the autos, you've got 7 to 9.
Oh, right.
So you've got extra gears. So in that lower range where a lot of cars suffer with that like long pull, and then they don't have they have like a short pull and then a long, and they kind of run out of steam until you hit like up end of third. So rather than it kind of running out of steam through 1, 2, 3, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4. So it can go like way better. So
what does it do there, sorry?
Because apparently it's a scooter. Yeah, but because it could go and then and all the way back down and until you get up to that top range where you can keep it in that, between 6 and well, that's a bike. Car. Hang on, where's your car at? Bikes are 8 to 12,000. It depends if you've got diesel or petrol, doesn't it?
Yeah, it depends.
Still 7 to 8 in the car, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you get in the higher gears, you're always keeping it in that power band, aren't you? But through the low ones, you've got to go through that whole... You've got to get... once you change from first into second, you've got that big drop as it goes into second to pull it back all the way back to that power band. That's what that BM used to have. Whereas if it had that extra one in between, it's a short... You get shorter gears all the way through.
I think I've just driven shit autos like that.
Clunky.
Yeah, I did like an old... I can't even remember. It's not old now. It's like, I don't know, 2010 Audi TT, and that was like, okay, That
Really?
was
It was
like
a bad auto.
I wouldn't go so far as saying it was bad, but it was definitely it just didn't feel like you were driving it.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes when gear changes happen when you don't think that they should happen, that kind of throws you off. Especially one thing I did notice, there was just such a delay when you put your foot down.
Yeah.
Like if you were pulling out of a junction, you'd be like,
And nothing happened.
and then you'd be like, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Which when you're trying to get out of a junction, especially if it's a bit of an iffy one with not great visibility or it's a fast road, that like half a second makes your fucking arsehole twitch because you're just like, come on.
They say that the new ones learn how you drive.
Yeah.
So when you get in, if you go and test drive something, like this car has changed since I owned it. So if you pussyfoot it around, the ECU learns you're a pussyfooter. So it reduces throttle response. But if it knows you want to give it some when you insert, especially when you're in modes, it'll learn how you drive. And I thought it was a salesman's bullshit tactic until I went into Merck and the guy said exactly the same thing.
All right.
I was like, that is quite freaking clever then.
Yeah.
And so they said whenever you drive them, they will have a lag when you go to put it down because they're just a test car and most people drive them quite easily because they have abided by the speed limit and whatever. So you get on the country road and even then you've got the guy next to you who's probably not going to let you boot it. So when you plant your foot, after a while it'll know you want to go with that plant rather than it just slowly a bit in.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that was it. I don't know. I know when I had a track day with a Nissan GTR, which was obviously an auto, absolutely fucking
Well, then that's
insane.
getting binned everywhere as well. Like,
that was
pinned
insane.
all day long. So that's what it knows.
Yeah.
And plus, I mean, that's a different animal.
It was. I have no idea how people kind of, I don't know, they're riding around in F1 cars. Like I just can't even, because it was spec'd up. This GTR was. It was the quicker one of the two that they had. It was the only thing that they had there that was quicker was Aerial Atom.
Oh yeah, they're good.
It was faster than the Bugatti that they had, the Veyron. It was like 2.9 seconds at 160, something stupid.
Yeah.
Probably I didn't do that because I was a bit more cautious. But like,
Why? If it's somebody else's thing and they say do it, I'm like, right.
It wasn't like I wasn't being cautious by any means. I was going for it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like foot flat to the floor the entire time.
Yeah.
It's made me. I know it's kind of jumping back to what we were talking about, but doing the stuff that I'm doing now on the bike, it's making me think how useful it would be. Just spat on the microphone there. Sorry about that. I just dribbled a little bit. To get a track day on a bike for like a learning experience, not just to go balls deep. But
I've done one.
Yeah.
I should have done more. We should have done more this year. I don't know why we didn't actually. We were going to do Silverstone and then we didn't for some reason. Somebody poo-pooed it and we were like, oh, we won't do that then. And then just neglected to even book anything else, like a pair of idiots. They tend to do them in October. It's quite cheap, for like 80 quid for the day.
I suppose you don't need a license, do you?
Oh, I don't know.
Why would you? Because
You need, I don't know actually.
although it's probably dangerous if you're not, because you're not on a
There will
public
be
road.
racers that probably don't have road licenses.
Yeah, actually, because I remember hearing about like there's like fucking 14-year-old kids going around doing like
Oh yeah,
laps. So
Yeah.
maybe you don't need a license.
Well, I know you can go anyway with your own bike, and then all they do is stick a big probe down your exhaust, and they say, is it too loud or not? And if it's all right, off you go. But they do test you for like how loud it is, so you got to be careful. But then you'll be fine with a standard one. But then after that, you got to. There is no after that. I don't know what the point was. Other than that, you just get on the track. Yeah, you go in different
But
categories.
after that, you have to get on your
After
bike
that,
and
you go on
ride
the
it.
bike and ride, yeah. You go in the beginners sect, and there's sometimes someone decent in the beginners one who just goes in there because they don't really feel like racing in the intermediates or whatever, and they know those guys are going to be going quick, and they just want to practice some stuff. But if you can follow those guys on their lines through it, you learn loads. One guy was really kind and said like, right, follow me for 2 runs round, and then he binned off afterwards. But I followed him through where he was going. I learned loads about he was dropping in way later than I was and taking different. And it's invaluable. Everybody who rides bikes should do track days. But you have to take your own bike. You know what I mean? So if you do get silly with it, and then
It's only you who's going to pay for it, right?
and I don't also one of my
If you're going to wear a suit.
yeah, you've got to have zip together. So you have to have top and bottoms that zip together, and obviously gloves, helmet, and boots. So you couldn't just rock up in Kevlar jeans and do it. No, you have to have.
Can you rent those suits, or have you got a bot? 'Cause it seems
No, I don't think so.
fair enough. I suppose if you're going to do it fairly frequently. What did you do? Do you
I've
have
zipped together
zip-together
leathers.
stuff?
Yeah,
Oh.
I've got a full race suit as well that I haven't used yet. So I need to book just to use that suit because we Black Friday, but I think we got it for 200 quid. This race suit, most race suits like 450. This one it's an RST Evo Evolution 2 or something or other. A really good suit, about 400 odd pounds. We got it for 200 quid, which is the same price you pay for a jacket, a single jacket. So like buy even if you're not going to use it. Like it's worth buying because it's ridiculous price, and because it was limited on sizing as well. They only had certain colours in certain sizes. Luckily, they had my size and the colour I wanted, and Mark's size and the colour he wanted.
Right.
So we managed to get them. I mean, neither of us have used them yet. I think we've walked around the house and both of us like, this is cool. Yeah, me.
Go on the streets
back
in
in the
them.
wardrobe. Yeah. Well, I'm not a guy who goes out on the street in a Power Ranger suit. I don't get those guys. Like, we went to the Superbike races at Silverstone, and there were so many dudes in with their suits on, full race suits, zipped down, and then obviously their arms flopping as they're looking like a really shit Goro walking around with their little, and they're all fat as well, which just gets me even more. And it's like, they're not these slim dudes in race suits like slinking around like a Pink Panther. No, it's Bill with his beer gut, like flopping in his squeaky race boots. I was like, dude, like, you're not aerodynamic in any. Even if you put that suit on, you're still not aerodynamic. You may as well just go with the jeans, dude, because your belly is not fitting over that tank. And then they're walking around looking like they might die, also looking like this is very uncomfortable. You know they've got swamp ass going on.
Oh, it's getting cooked in that
Yeah,
suit.
and then we're there in like just our jeans with our jackets off that we've left with the charity people at the front desk where they hold your jacket and helmets for like a £5 and it goes to charity. And you're like, yeah, it's cool. And we just got t-shirts and jeans on walking around, and you got a big up Bill like with his mate, and they're walking. I was like, how are you spending the day here? How are you going anywhere? Like, and when they ride, where do they stop? Or do they go squeaking into like a restaurant? Because we stop and eat at like restaurants and stuff when we go. Not
What
posh
happens
ones,
if you need the
but, like,
toilet? It's a bit of
gastropubs
it's a
and stuff.
full ordeal to get to the toilet.
It must be like women when they wear those onesies and they're like, I'm just going to the toilet, I'll be half an hour.
Yeah. Actually, I never thought about that. Women wearing them silly like suits.
Yeah, they just put up with it.
Yeah.
They just
Well,
go and get fully undressed in a toilet cubicle to have a pee.
Oh man.
Yeah, no patience for that.
Yeah, definitely not. Just piss myself. Piss myself.
Just pad up before you go out.
Yeah, there we go. Problem solved.
But yeah, that's the one. So I've got one. So yeah, we can try and book a track day.
Yeah, if they've still got anything.
have a
Well,
look
I need
after
to
this.
have a look at. Well,
If anyone knows
let's
some
get the
good
bike
tracks.
first.
Yeah.
Get the bike done.
Yeah.
Then
Let's see what your tyres are like.
yeah, I was going to say we need to actually see what it's going to be like on this because it's a decent run from Manchester. So
Yeah,
if
about 2 hours.
If there's any problems,
Well, I'll find out.
Lex will find out for me. So yeah, I've got my mod 2
Your
in
front
like,
wheel's loose. Whee!
as it rolls past you.
Yeah, just one
Got a
wheel.
got a
just
wheelie.
one wheel goes past you. And
So
we're
I'm
like,
just going to wheelie the rest of the way home. So yeah, mod 2's booked in halfway through next month, something like that. So about a month away.
that's the easy bit, mate.
Well, that's what some people are saying. Oh, like this is the. Some people
because
think the
mod
mod 2
one-
is harder than the mod 1, but I think it's
I think mod 1's harder. The only thing you can fuck up on mod 2 is if when they say to do something, you do it too quickly. Because if they say it's like pull over on the left when it's safe to do so, you can keep riding for 10 miles
Yeah.
if you don't think it's safe to pull over at any point. But most people will try and pull over as quickly as they can, and then they'll pull over somewhere where they shouldn't, where there's like a car
junction
across
or-
the road from them. Like, so what you should never do is pull over where there's a car across the other side of the road, because if a lorry comes, you're causing an obstruction. So you always want to pull over where there's nothing on the other side of the road. That was one thing I learned. But the main thing is take your time, pull over whenever you see a massive gap with nothing else around you.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is just make sure you do your lifesavers and don't leave your indicators on. Other than that, it's just ride. You just ride. You just go out and ride.
That's what I'm quite confident with this bit. I was fairly confident with the mod 1 stuff, but it was the fact that it's a split second and then you could have fucked it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Because it's so technical.
Yeah, you could just
Touch your
like
foot, wiggle it a
lean
bit.
a little bit too much or pull the throttle in a bit too much, and I don't know, just you kind of you have to put your foot down for a second and then
Sit.
done.
Yeah.
So yeah, with the ride, like that's the bit I find quite easy to do, and all the like the hill start stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, I don't remember them having me do anything other than pulling over on the side of the road.
apparently they ask you to pull over quite a few times, though. They ask
Yeah.
you like 3 or 4 times to pull over.
Yeah, and that's it. I don't think they have you do any manoeuvres though.
I know
because
that
you've done it in
normally,
Mod 1.
I think what they were saying is normally they'll pick a route that will require a hill start.
So they'll see
So
it. Yeah.
it'll be at a junction that is on a hill, and it's a blind junction, so you can't just roll out of it. You have to physically stop.
Yeah.
Use the back brake. But I do that all the time now.
Oh, yeah.
One of the instructors, because when I was like really early on, when we were practicing for that, the slow ride where you've got to like crawl along at like 2-3 mile an hour,
yeah.
and I was okay doing it, but it was always that initial start, and I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
And he always said, just put your foot on the back brake, get the revs up, pull the clutch out till you can feel the bite a little bit, and then just release your back brake, and you'll just go straight away, opposed to like have to like find the revs.
Get you,
So
yeah.
you just you just go to speed pretty much instantly.
Yeah.
And now
Take the handbrake off.
that's how I always pull off.
Yeah.
So whether I'm on a hill or down a hill or whatever, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The only thing that I did actually put my foot down once
You're
on the
good
road.
pulling off up hills, down hills. You just pull off wherever you feel like it.
Fucking pulling off. The only time I've actually put my foot down, like when I shouldn't have on the road, was it was a hill start onto another road that's on a hill, and there was quite a steep incline. So I was coming out of a junction there, having to turn right. So you go up, and then the bike like drops in quite hard because you've got to turn right, but you're going down a hill, but you.
Oh, so you're going over a crest.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, the bike like leans a lot. So you've kind of got to do it not fast, but you've got to do it quicker than you'd want to. Otherwise, the bike would just fall over. I think that's the weird bit as well, isn't it? It's getting comfortable knowing that you kind of, to have more control of the bike, sometimes you need a bit more pace.
Yeah.
Whereas everything in your body tells you to slow down.
If the bike's got pace, it wants to be upright.
Yeah.
That's the bike wants to go. It wants to be up and in a straight line if it's got power underneath it.
Yeah.
And that's it. So that's why when you're on a bike, if you want to go right, and keep the power even, push your weight through it to go right, and then it'll keep going right. If you fuck with that power whilst you're trying to make it go right, dip it, pull it, whatever, if you put it on, it's going to want to stand up. If you dip it, it's going to drop. So that's why that consistency of even throttle around corners is massively key, especially when you first start getting out there, because your car foot wants to accelerate around a corner.
Yeah.
Like early.
Yeah.
When you can't do it with bikes. It's even round the corner, accelerate out.
Yeah.
Once you can see once you can see the apex, once you pass the apex and you can see through, then you can start accelerating.
It's so much more complex than driving a car.
Oh, you're on something that literally can just wobble over.
Yeah.
There's a thing on Instagram, I'm going to do it as a reel, but it's amazing. It goes, imagine when the first dude invented a motorbike, came up and told someone else, and like, dude, I've invented this new vehicle. It's awesome. It's got half the wheels of a car, no doors, no roof, no windows, no nothing. Cool. It's cool. What have you got? Have you got in terms of like where do you go on it? Where's the engine? Right underneath your balls, right there. Everything is just basically it's like a gasoline-soaked panty liner. And he goes, well, what happens? What happens if you've for safety features you got nothing, absolutely nothing. You hit anything and you're dead. And then they were like, this is an awesome idea. Yeah. And it is. Yeah. It is an awesome idea.
Yeah, it's insane whoever came up with that idea. It's
But when you say it out loud, it is mental. You basically take an engine, you strap a wheel to either end of it, and then put a seat on.
That simplicity, though, it's quite nice.
And the fact that you are in literal full control of it. Like, your body affects it. And so it really, truly becomes part of you.
Yeah, that's looking where you want to go. That's something that's...
You'll never get that in a car.
Yeah. It's very bizarre, isn't it, that sensation? Because they tell you that, like, look in the direction you want to go and you'll start going that direction.
Yeah. That's why if you don't look, if you target fixate, if you're going around a corner, but there's like a wall around the corner and you look at the wall, you won't make it around that corner. Yeah. You're going to the wall.
Yeah. It's so bizarre, isn't it? And like,
remember what you're going to say. But there's a lad when I lived up north. He went from this is the mad thing. You can get a scooter, scooters, twist and go, nothing like riding a motorbike. They are more like riding a quad, I think, than they are a motorbike, because you turn the freaking scooter thing to turn the wheel to make it go places. You don't do very little leaning really on scooters. So, and the scooters twist and go, no gears, no nothing, and they don't act like a motorbike. But equally, if you don't want a 125 scooter, you can get a 125 motorbike now, which will act and behave as a normal motorbike, which means you have to counter steer, which means you have to look where you really want to go. It means you have to move body position, weight shifting, all of this. But to get a CBT, you don't need to learn any of that.
Yeah.
at all. You can go and learn on a scooter in a CBT and then go get a 125 motorbike. And this is what this kid did. Yeah. And I was like, have you ever ridden a motorbike? Like, have you ever, you know that you push right to go right, but it literally turns you really opposite. And he's like, what? I was like, oh my God, you're going to die. So I was like, I said, you need to, so I had these little Chinese talkie things for the helmets. Not like the Cardos we've got now, which are really good. These were like just bare Bluetooth linked up stuff. So if you went more than 20 meters away from each other, you couldn't hear anything. Yeah. But it was good enough. And I took him out. And I'm in front of him. I'm going, so right, look at my right hand here. Okay, we're coming up to right hand. I'm holding my right hand up in the air. And I'm going to put this down onto the thing. I'm going to push my right. And I'm holding my left hand up in the air now, going, look, I'm doing nothing with my left hand. I'm just pushing with the right. You see how it's going around? He's going, yeah, got it. And so we're going around. He's doing really well. And then I notice he's getting a bit cocky because I'm riding along and we're going some just nice little bits. And I'm like chilling with my arm across the tank. And I look back and he's chilling with his arm across the tank. I'm like, oh, he's getting a bit too comfortable here. But it was like good though as well because he's comfortable, But he also was wanting to look cool. And his bike did look pretty cool for a 125. But then we come up to an actual corner where there's like, you come around. So if you imagine it's not a super sharp right, but enough where you need to decelerate into the corner, really get your weight over and go around. It's a nice one, sharp, not too big, not too long, but a definite one where you have to push the weight around the corner. But on that same corner was like a hill bank up in front of it when you're coming around, and over that bank was like a path for walkers going around. So I went around the corner. I'm going, okay, so you're going to really have to push over on this, really drag your left knee through the tank, pull your weight through, and get it around the corner. And he went, yeah, oh, no. And then what he'd done, he was looking at two walkers walking over this hill over the side, and all I saw in my rearview mirrors was I heard him go, oh no, and then I looked behind the mirror as his bike goes up. He goes off the corner, but because the corner went round a bit, I could only see it for a short amount of time. So I just saw him go not round the corner and straight on, and then slightly up this hill, and then my view changed, and all I heard was, because we left it. Yeah. And then as I stopped and I turned around, his voice comes back and he goes, I'm all right, I made it. And he's driving back down the walker's path. Back down onto the road.
So he stayed upright.
He fully went up the hill, got to the top. The incline must have decelerated him enough to not fall off. He got to the top, went, and just turned the bike down the path and came back onto the road.
But he was a bit more cautious.
He didn't make another mistake after that. But that was target fixation. He was looking at the walkers because he was probably thinking, but I look cool to them right now. Yeah. And then, because I've done it, we've all done it. And then he's like, I'm going to make this corner look good. And then he's looking at them, looking at the corner, looking at them, looking at the corner, and then boom, he's going towards them.
Yeah, fuck. Scary shit.
But I just saw him go, off in my rearview mirror, like just, he's behind me, and then he just, because obviously rear view only go from left to right, don't they? So he just went full left. Yeah. So I just saw him go off my left wing mirror. Yeah. And I just thought, oh crap, but luckily, he just... Jeez, lucky the hill and the path was there. If that had been a normal corner, it would have been a wall. He wouldn't have died or anything, but his bike would have been
pretty fucked up.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have done his confidence any good.
No. I feel like that. The what do they call it? The Dunning-Kruger effect. That like confidence and competence.
Yeah, Dunning-Kruger.
Yeah, if you have a look, there's a graph for it. Maybe if I send it you, will you put it up on the screen so they can see the Dunning-Kruger effect?
Make my work more hard. Yeah,
and basically, it's like your level of competency at anything is like a kind of a curve like that, but your level of confidence goes right up. So your level of confidence is the highest in a very short space of time when you feel like, I figured all this shit out. Everything. Yeah, and then you quickly realise, oh shit, I know nothing, and then your confidence basically bottoms out.
When you're 14 and you think you know life, and then you suddenly hit 18 and you're like, oh, real world, boom.
It'll probably be really apparent, that Dunning-Kruger effect on
bikes.
On a bike.
You do have it's the same in the car though, isn't it? When you push things, you still have moments.
Have those moments
where you get a little bit of a squirrel around a corner or something.
Yeah, I can't see it, but I can't remember the last time I've had anything like that. It's been such a long time, and I suppose there are going to be other factors like getting a new car.
Yeah,
then you're probably going to have a few more of them, but I think
the more in the car is less to do with the way you're driving in terms of technicalities, more to do with distraction. So the closest thing I've had in the car recently is where I've gone to reach for something in the car and pulled the steering wheel as I've gone to reach for it, and the car's gone to the left nearly into a verge or whatever, or the stupid thing your phone's doing something. I'm not on my phone in my car, but it is plugged into my car to me if you fail to use it, and say something will fail with it being plugged in, the interface will crash or something. I'll unlock the phone to redo the interface. something like that, and I'll look away and I'll realise in the time I've looked away, the car's drifted right, or I've got really close to the car, and been like, Jesus, if that had been another 2 seconds, that could have been a problem. And so I think that's the Kruger in the car now, because
Freddy Krueger in the car.
Kruger in the car, yeah. I do. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think more than people like. I mean, how often do you really see people ragging around in cars anymore?
Not too
There's
often.
too much traffic on the road to do it.
Yeah.
There's not the space. The roads aren't really that good.
If it is anyone, it's somebody who's like 17
Yeah.
in like, in a Golf or something like
struggling
that.
to get to 65.
Yeah. Yeah. So to be fair, you're right. It's pretty rare that you'll see people like taking the
I mean,
piss
if
on
you're
that.
in bigger cities like Manchester and stuff, you'll see the twats
Mm-hmm.
in their hired cars or just making noise because they're wealthy kids or whatever. But out in Shropshire, it'd be good luck, because you got a bloke in a tractor 2 miles down the road who's going to be like, all right,
Yeah.
you ain't going anywhere, sunshine.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got these A-bales and they're going 10 miles in every direction you want to go. So I think the thing you do notice on the bikes is that freedom of the traffic. That's the best thing.
Yeah. So because obviously you don't really do it on lessons where you do it. Where is it? Lane
Filtering.
Yeah.
And it's
There's no
lane splitting.
lane splitting. Yeah.
It's pure legal over here. You can't do it in somewhere stupid like, is it Texas or somewhere stupid doesn't allow it?
Yeah.
And it like defeats the entire purpose of having bikes.
Yeah. So, but I've never done it. So that's something I'm kind of a bit nervous of.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think I should anyway have some lessons left over, or at least one lesson left over.
That'd be good.
And they did say, because obviously this bike that I've been learning on is not the bike that I'm going to be riding. And they're not going to be like a million miles apart, but they're also going to be pretty different.
Yeah, they are different. Yeah.
And you said that so nervously, then you're like,
Well,
they are.
It's because you're in an upright bike.
All your controls are backwards.
When you go to go around a corner on your bike,
Yeah.
the same way you do it on that bike, your bike will be like, nah.
Yeah.
Because you really have to push weight through because you're leant over. So you really have to push through the handlebars. Whereas because you're on top of the bike you're riding now, upright, and the handlebars are higher, they're like a high-rise bar, you've got way more leverage. So when you push on that bar, the bike rocks really easily.
Yeah, it does.
Whereas with a clip-on, the handlebars are not just low, they're negative compared to where the suspension ends. So you really have to, rather than push down, you have to push the weight through. So there's a very, very different amount of energy or displacement of energy required to make the bike do the same thing. But once you do, it drops real easy. But there's loads of little tricks you can do. Obviously, we're going to go out and ride, and you have some comms on a helmet, and then
Yeah. I think I just need to get out and spend like
that's the best thing you can do.
spend some time on there. Yeah.
It is time on the road. Mark literally, after he had a bad experience during his learning because of his stupid instructor that basically put him into an accident, like a tit, he had a real issue going right because of what happened. And he always felt like the bike was going to fall, and it was getting that out of his head, and then showing that he had the control of things. And he literally hammered. Like every time I ring him, it's a sunny day. He's out somewhere, and he's in Manchester, and all the roads there suck. So he's riding on crap roads just to be riding.
But that's it there. That's probably good to get that experience.
But then he rides down here a lot because he gets the A49 run.
Yeah.
So and he starts to know the road, so then he can start testing how much better he is on certain corners that he knows he's struggled on before and stuff like that. So it's good. But he's now a completely different rider to how he was after that problematic incident, and he was super confident coming into his test prior to that happening.
Well, I remember him explaining about them, like getting people like accelerating, then engine braking, then accelerating, then engine braking. Well, before I did my Mod 1, they did something similar, but it wasn't quite the same. So I think I've got an idea of what they were doing, because before we were like, I just don't understand why.
They basically had
doing
him and another learner following each other, nose to tail, accelerating up to 30 miles an hour in the pissing rain, and then decelerating with no brake lights.
Yeah.
So, like, what did they want? Like, did they think they were Jedis?
Yeah.
On the skidooey things, they were going to be like, "I'm now going to brake," and they were like, "I understand. I shall also brake." No, what happened? One braked, whilst one accelerated, and then you've got two learners that don't quite know what to do. So Mark did what you do in a car, and he freaking turned the wheel away from what was coming at him, and then that washed the bike out from underneath him, because you can't do that on the bike. And he was like, fine. Even after the accident, he was like, "Let me back on the bike right now. I'll ride it back." And they're like, "No, you can't. No, you can't." And then because of what happened, because he had like a bad gash in his knee, he didn't get to get back on the bike for like 6 weeks, and that was his problem. So he had 6 weeks to like
worry about it and
overthink. Just
almost.
overthink the thing. Yeah. So then by the time he got back on, he just had this probably a very annoying fear for even himself, because it would be not what's the word? Not unexplained, but in his own head, he'd be like, well, wow, that's nervous, Like, whereas before he had nothing. Now suddenly he's like, oh, Jesus, why am I not wanting to do that? And then you don't think, oh, I don't want to do it. And now it gets nervous. Now you stiffen up, and now your whole ride turns to shit.
Yeah. Well, on the ride beforehand, they had us doing something similar, although they would say your name before you would accelerate.
See, that's a professional person doing the lesson.
And all it was is because obviously they'd tell you when you're trying to go through these speed traps for your emergency brake and your swerve and avoidance, not to be looking down at the speed. There's like, don't look at your speedo. You need to be looking ahead at the cones to make sure you're going through and doing everything you're meant to. So they basically want you to feel what it feels like to go from 20-ish to 30-ish.
Yeah.
Just from sound and feel and sense. I clearly have none of it because I did 40.
Yay!
But anyway, so we only got to practice it like twice, because on the ride in, this was literally like as we were riding to the test centre.
Did you do a little lesson before you went to the exam?
Yeah, so we did a couple of bits, the basic bits, and then we're like, right, we'll go out on the road, we'll find somewhere that's quiet enough so we can practice some swerve and avoidance stuff. So it was literally like, found this really empty street, we were all riding along, and he was like, just follow me, and then he'd call out a manhole cover, and then he'd swerve, and he'd be like, right, do a right swerve, then do a left swerve. Yeah. So we just followed along, quite big gaps in between us. Then there was another bit where we had to try and open it up to find that gap, but he would say like, Lewis, go, then
so you knew
Jack, go. Yeah. And that's so there was no chance of us like accelerating and decelerating into each other, because as well we maintained the speed until we'd basically go to another street, or we'd go and do another lap. So there was no chance of going into the back of anyone.
That's important, man. How you learn, and then when you go out and ride, the guys you ride with, that's a big thing as well. So none of us ride like dicks, and none of us encourage anyone to ride like that. And in fact, we'll call people out like, that was stupid, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Or we'll and if people who join us who aren't friends or whatever and start riding like that, we just let them go.
Yeah.
So I'll see you there.
Yeah.
You do what you want to do.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing, isn't it? You got to take 100%. It at your own pace.
I've done it before. Like went out with a guy, lovely bloke, but on a bike he was a freaking moron. Like he just had no sense of self-preservation whatsoever, and he wasn't even skilled enough to be that way. He was like double dipping into corners, so because he was like, like not a smooth. He wasn't smooth going around corners. It'd be like he'd like dip and then come back up and then really rank it into the corner. He was like, and he was going around people on bends. I'm just like, for the distance you're going to make going around that person on a bend compared to the death opportunity that's coming the other way that you can't see, it's just ludicrous. Like, why would you even bother? Wait 3 seconds until you're around the corner and overtake the guy on the straight, even if you're splitting lanes, like a bit of an idiot. It's still safer than going around someone on a corner. Like, just. And so he did that immediately as we were riding. I was like, oh, I'm not riding with you. I just let him go and met him back wherever we were supposed to be ending up. It's like, not a chance.
Yeah, that's scary. That
he had a kid as well.
Yeah, that does worry me, that like, because obviously you meet other people that ride and I trust you, but there's so many other people that you might think, oh yeah, they're a nice person, but then they on the bike and they're just absolutely mental.
They're just silly.
And just being able to just be like, no, sorry, that's not for me.
Yeah, well, I just say beforehand when you're going to ride, like, listen, I'm taking it not too easy. If you want to go hard or whatever you want to do, that's cool. We're going to end up here and we'll meet you there. And they'll be like, yeah. And you should always then they're not bothered then. But it's the thing with bikes is, it's not like in life. It's not like dating life. The stiffer you are, that's not the better you are. The softer you are, the better you are. So I think it's opposite to your dating world.
You need to be flaccid.
The less turgid, the better.
That is something that I'm like, I keep noticing.
You have to do the shimmy shake.
Stiffening up and
shimmy shake. Like, even if you have to do it every 3 minutes.
I think I don't know if it's harder to be relaxed on the bike because I'm so upright. You are like that. You can't really like. I feel like if I relax, I just end up with shit posture. I'm just like, I'm trying to relax, but disintegrate.
Just flopping around on the bike. What are you doing, Lewis? I'm relaxed.
They told me to relax.
At the brakes, just flopping like a boba doll.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to like have.
The trick is keeping
decent
weight in your legs. So you like, especially on yours, when you get on it, you'll see. Braking, coming down hills or anything like that, squeezing the tank whenever you brake, so it keeps the weight out of your arms, because when you are leant forward, the tendency is for all your weight to want to go into your hands, and you've got to stop that happening. So whenever you're decelerating or doing anything, squeeze the tank, put that weight down into your legs, and then you'll realize, oh, my hands are super free. So most people, when they're going down a hill, they start to like, oh Jesus, it's hard to get on a corner.
Pressing, so you
because
can't.
both hands are pressing weight onto the handlebars. So when they go to push right, it's not really doing anything because you still got weight going through the left. Whereas if you squeezing that tank and stopping your body shifting, then your arms are just completely weightless. And now the bike moves like normal.
Yeah.
And it stops downhills being scary, like proper downhills.
Yeah.
Because where we ride, you get them.
Yeah, that
proper.
one on the way in from my house.
Yeah, that's a good one. That right turn at the bottom of it is always a bit sketchy.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the car it's a little.
It's a double apex and it's blind.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty much everything that you
and
don't
there's
want.
sometimes wagons coming the other way.
Yeah, doing fucking 4 mile an hour
Yeah.
though because I can't get up.
Shattered my windscreen still. It's still broken. Did I talk about that last week?
Yeah, you said. Yeah.
Still broken. You know why? So they got the windscreen in. And then I didn't turn up to my appointment because I thought it was the next day. And he rang me and was like, you know about your appointment this morning? I was like, yeah. It's 9:20. It was meant to be in at 9. He went, well, the windscreen's scratched. So you wouldn't want to be coming in. I was like, it's a good job I hadn't bloody set off, isn't it? So yeah, they sent this £500-600 windscreen because it has all the heating in it and the aid sensor crap and all that. Yeah, it just turned up 2. He said there were 2 scratches on it. One right, and he said you don't want it on your car. So I have to wait another week now to get another one. How dare they ruin my tardiness? So I've been driving around with this big chip bang in the middle of where I drive. Yeah. And it's okay when it rains, I've found out, because you've got a wet windscreen, it merges in.
Yeah.
The moment it's dry, it's like, imagine someone stuck a 50p right on your windscreen where you drive.
Yeah, it's the most distracting
It's
thing.
so irritating.
Yeah. It is mad, isn't it, how the slightest thing, you've got like all of this windscreen.
Yeah.
And also, it always seems to happen whenever you're driving, the stone chips are always like, if the windscreen wasn't there, it would have hit you in the face.
Oh, I'd have been. This would
like,
have full on.
You never get them like in the perimeter. It's always right in the
fucking
face.
Death. It would have been right through my nasal cavity, I think. It was just fuck straight through. Which again is why you should not ride a motorbike in an open face helmet.
Yeah.
I don't understand how those boys do that.
No, that's.
Oh, I've got a cool thing. Someone hit me up. I was getting some helmets from Hedden, I think, which is a really cool. I think it's a British company that do handmade leather helmets. You know that one I've got downstairs that's carbon.
I saw, and actually, look, it's literally like a leather.
Yeah.
I've seen them on Instagram.
Yeah, so I might be getting one or 2 of those. And then there's a company called Rocker. And I don't know.
Is this the mount?
No, it's a clothing company for
okay.
bike clothing.
Okay.
They do like streetwear and then mainly bike wear, like Kevlar jeans and stuff. And they're like, they're so interested in doing some bits, so they're going to send some bits out. I was like, okay, cool, have a look on the website. Guess how much one of their jackets is?
It's 500 quid?
Nope.
700 quid?
Nope.
£1,000?
Nope.
1,200?
Nope.
2,000?
It's a bit below.
18?
It's about £1,500 for a leather jacket. That, and I'm pretty confident it doesn't have a removable inner liner.
Yeah.
You know when they just, you know when a company just opens up and goes, you know who we're going to sell to? Yeah, rich blokes.
Yeah.
It's that.
Is it nice stuff though?
Apparently, it's really nice quality. Yeah. But in terms of like it being functional for your bike, it's like not something you could wear all year round to go trekking about in. Yeah. It's literally something that when you put it on, it feels like a real high class quality thing that you would ride to go to maybe like a dinner or something. You know, like not like a freaking tuxedo thing, but you know, like you ride somewhere and you're not going out all day on the bikes. You're going to ride somewhere to go somewhere nice and have a chill out day or whatever. I think it's that kind of wear. Yeah. So you turn up and it's like nice, looks smart, a bit like Bellstaff kind of style. But yeah, Rocker, Rokker.
You have to show me some of
Just
the stuff.
Google it, Rocker, and have a look. Stuff's nice, but dude, and they're selling out. Some of the stuff's sold out.
Yeah,
mad.
I think a lot of the time though with bikes in general, from what I've seen, you've got kind of the people that get on bikes just because that's all that they've ever done like from being kids, but then it's like a toy for everyone else.
Yeah, so you get all the nice bits with it.
Yeah. So again, it's
that's what Hedden is.
Yeah.
Hedden stuff is beautifully handmade and crafted stuff, but it's completely like low tech.
Yeah.
Like, they're not quick release visors or anything like that. They're screwed to the lid visors.
Yes, I've seen them. Yeah.
But they're all handmade, and some are handmade to order. So it's like having that bit of. It's a show off piece, isn't it? Really, and you wear it, to the pub on the Sunday when you turn up and just look real cool in your freaking get up. Yeah. And everyone's like, "That's cool," and you're like, "Yeah, I can't go more than 2 hours."
I've seen some that've got like it's like a quilted kind of leather stitch thing.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah. They might have done that as well, but I don't think they do loads of like limited edition stuff. But that carbon one I've got downstairs is beautiful and it's nice when you're riding it. But they just things like they they don't have open and closed vents on them, and there's no.
Yeah, it is literally just a dome.
Yeah. It's it's inside it's all beautiful leather, like all around the edges of the actual helmet, which normally is just rubber. And then inside it's nice and plush liner, but the liners, you can't remove the liner or anything. So they're not designed to be worn every day, all the day. They are show pieces.
Yeah.
So it's nice though, nice stuff to have, especially if you love biking.
Yeah.
Like, and great gifts. Like if you were to buy that for someone, they'd be like, "Oh, treasure it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
There'd
Whereas
probably be something that they probably would never wear because they're just like,
literally, it would only get worn for like the gentleman's ride and maybe a couple of things during the year. But that's kind of nice because then it's like it's its special thing, rather than you get any old helmet which you want to change every year, you know. So yeah, there are that. So I'll see what I can do. I might be able to get like discounts for people and shit.
Ooh.
See if we can get it before Christmas. What else is happening? We've done too long. We're done for the day.
Yeah.
That's enough.
We'll
You've heard
call it.
enough. You've heard enough.
They're sick of us by now.
Bored of us by now. Yeah. What day is it for them? Monday. Yeah, it will be. Hopefully. Oh yeah, sorry about last week. Not my fault. Anchor had some kind of crash on their site. Would not let me upload past 96%. Until
It was already on the
it was
Saturday.
always all edited and done by Saturday, yeah. But it just would not upload it wouldn't put it through.
See, we try and be organised and get stuff ready for you, but the universe just wants us to be
It's like,
behind.
not for you today, bitch. Do you know what it is? It's just a test.
Yeah.
It's just a test. You just got to let it go. Like, I know Andrew Tate's had some rough things, you know, about him recently and stuff, but every so often he says something that does catch you. And one thing he says is he does truly try and be happy every day. So enjoying little things, like you're stuck in traffic, cool, sunshine coming in through the window. That's all good. Like or something's gone wrong, cool, is it really going to ruin my year? Not really, it's just going to mess up today. So that is a good, as much as like he's an idiot, he does have some nice little moments of stuff.
Yeah.
Which everybody has the capability of having. But that's the thing. Don't let little things ruin your days. I think I let that happen a little bit in the last few weeks with stuff being irritating and lagging. I had loads of glitches on my software because there was loads of updates, and you always get glitches when they update like your operating systems and all that jazz.
Yeah. Every time there's an update, you're just like, what are they
What's gonna
fucking
work?
doing here now? Yeah.
Because then you get the 0.1 update after it, don't you? That fixes everything.
I mean, yeah, like 24
Why do you
hours
do
later.
that? Just put that out and then we'll fix what's broken in a week when everyone gets really mad.
Yeah. Maybe they just, because there's so many interplaying things, maybe they need it to go out to such a large audience to find out what they're all going to be.
Probably.
Because it probably doesn't, because it probably doesn't happen for everybody. There's just some people
I
on
reckon
certain
it's just like some
platforms.
really cocky developer who's like, my work here is done, send it out. And then like Dave from the back has to come in a week later going, I freaking hate Rupert, fixing all these stupid problems. Whereas Rupert's off in his...
He's already on holiday,
with his
Rupert.
rocker leather jacket and head and helmet off riding out into the sunset.
Yeah. Double dipping into corners.
Double different, to be honest. Yeah, so remember, if you want to be good at riding a bike, don't be stiff. The softer you are, the better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for all of those that, you know, can't get stiff, you're perfect for riding bikes.
be flaccid, kids.
Be unturgid. Yeah. And same, let it go. Do that thing. Try and sit in the silence, like we talked about earlier in the podcast. Really, really try it. The brain loves complexity, which is why we are getting distracted by... That's why I love fixing stuff, because it's literally a physical distraction for me to fill my brain with and feed my brain's need for complexity. So start learning to live in the silence. Even when something's go wrong, sit there and sit in the silence of the wrong and then figure it out. And it'll make us less stressed, and it should make us more efficient. In theory.
As we clearly are.
Yes. So there we go. Hope you're having a good week. As always, leave behind in the week that's gone all the crap and bring forward that was good. And have a great week.
Toodle pip.
Toodle pip.